My experience with photography before DINFOS was none. I had no experience at all. What I struggled with the most when I was learning photography was focusing. That was the worst. I just couldn't focus at all.
Before coming to DINFOS, my experience with photography was my iPhone and Instagram. Other than that, I was always in front of the camera. I struggled the most with exposure, from going from sunny over to shade and always having to change all of the settings was a little bit difficult at first.
I feel very well prepared to do crime scene photography because what they taught us here at DINFOS is what our instructors have experienced before in the past, so I'm very comfortable with that. With flash photography, I learned that you can bounce the light from the flash off of a surface onto a subject.
If I came across a crime scene in my career, I think I'd be well equipped to photograph it because of all the training I learned here at DINFOS. In flash photography, I learned how to set the mood with different shadows.
My favorite part about photographing in the studio was doing personality pictures. We actually got to have fun, chill out, relax for once. I believe the most challenging part of studio photography was learning about lighting ratios. You had to try to avoid making harsh shadows. You had to try to get the lighting right for a complexion. It was very difficult.
My favorite part about photographing in the studio is taking the passport photos. I really enjoyed that because it was an opportunity to learn something new as well as learn something that would be useful to someone else in the long run. Studio photography is a little challenging. It's really fun. It gives you an opportunity to do something that you really like, as in show everybody else a little glimpse of your life.
The FTX experience for me was awesome. I like the whole idea of getting us ready for combat photography and taking pictures of uncontrolled action as we see it.
The physical aspects affected my shooting technique during the FTX in many ways. Trying to get that shot and trying to get everything in focus made it extremely difficult. It's kind of chaotic. It changes your whole mental game, and you're stressing out not only trying to get the shot, but making sure your settings are correct.
My experience visiting someone that I didn't know and taking photographs of them all day to fulfill a photo story was kind of like a shock to my system. Kind of walking in the shoes of someone else for a day and trying to be vulnerable with them so that they'll be vulnerable with you in front of the camera, and they'll stop acknowledging or being timid in front of the camera and start organically just being themselves, so I can capture them in their own element and their own personality. My biggest challenge as far as growing as a professional photographer is how to balance being a soldier and a photographer at the same time. I'm going to be out in the field and I'm going to have to make choices on whether I'm going to grab my rifle or whether I'm going to grab my camera. And I want to make sure that I'm always making the right choice and I'm always getting the shots that my commander or my leadership need from me.
My experience in photographing someone for an entire day who I've never met before was very interesting. It was a new learning experience. It's something I had never done before. It gave me a real chance to step out of my shell and just be who I am without knowing or even knowing them or them knowing me. You just have to do your job. My biggest challenge would probably be finding my motivation to do what I do. There's constant things you learn, there's a lot of pressure and there's a lot of work. It's very hard work. Many people see it just as pictures, but it takes a lot to document and be yourself, be the standard soldier, Marine, airman, seaman, who you are. It was a great experience. It really builds confidence in who you are and your professional and your conversational skills. and I'm proud to say I'm a military photographer.